So I like to explain what Jesus was talking about in Matthew 19 verse 12. I really believe that Jesus was talking about mentally ill people. I know that eunuchs are definitely misunderstood by society. Anybody that's not interested in sex is going to be completely misunderstood by society, especially now, especially in this day and age with this horrific culture that we've got going. But what did he say about eunuchs? There's some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb. I definitely believe this. And, of course, this is personal to me because I'm adopted, so I don't know who my mom is. But, there are eunuchs who are made eunuchs of men. So, basically, eunuchs of the world made us this way because the world's so fucking terrible. Why would we want to have sex with anybody? And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. Yes. I definitely fall into the first two categories, but the third category sort of gives me a reason for the first two categories. But I think that this does most definitely apply to specifically people in the ClusterA personality type. I feel like if you have a personality disorder, like, there's just no way that you're going to be able to vibe with society. ClusterA people are the smartest ones because we know that society is bad. ClusterB they just fuck with society. That's what they do because they don't understand things that happened to them as a child, or they don't understand the way that they are because they're not aware of anything. ClusterC personality types are aware of themselves, but it's like they're similar to both ClusterA and ClusterB personality types. Interesting. It's like a combination of the two. My dad is definitely an obsessive compulsive personality, and he's a total asshole, and he has like no self-awareness of this whatsoever. But I love him to death, man. He's a good guy, but he doesn't realize how he comes across. He's very controlling. Everything has to be a certain way. He's the most meticulous person I've ever met in my entire life. And I know a lot of people that are like that, very control freaky, but there's a huge difference between being a little OCD about certain things versus having like a serious personality disorder where you have to have things in a certain way or you lose your fucking mind, you know? But the reason why personality disorders are a lot different than just regular ass mood disorders isn't just because the medication doesn't help us at all. The medication doesn't help anyway. This guy, blah, 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 psychiatrist, psych, they're not a real doctor. They're a piece of shit. But yeah, psychiatrists are very well aware of the fact that these medications don't actually help anybody. But they prescribe them anyway because that's their job, literally, to brainwash you. Personality types, though. Like, if you have a personality disorder, it's like, it's set in stone, man. It's your mind. It's the way that you think. It's the way that you behave. And it's not just based off your moods. You know, it has to do with the way that you process everything. Now, a lot of the time, in relation to PTSD, the reason why people have PTSD is because they have an enlarged amygdala. The amygdala is responsible for processing memory. I call it the amyGdala. That's me. amyGdala. amyGdala. I'm having a gala with my Dala. I can make all kinds of jokes. I did actually make a joke about this, and people thought it was funny, even though they probably didn't get it because they don't know anything about the human brain. But anyway, I relate everything back to myself. But yeah, the amygdala is responsible for processing memory, and so those that have PTSD, the reason why it's enlarged is because of trauma. So people have borderline personality disorder. It's very closely related to PTSD because of our enlarged amyGdala. But just because you have PTSD, though, doesn't mean you have personality disorder. But Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about how, like, just being on this level, it has been relatively difficult all throughout my life because I didn't understand what was going on. But now that I get it, and not just being a comedian, but, you know, reading the scripture and really understanding my place in the world, and knowing that it's okay to be an alien, it's okay to not fit in, it's okay to be on this side, it's a way better side, that the poly side is pretty cool. And I feel like God it's like a hammock. Like, being with God is like a hammock. I'm just lounging in the hammock. Everybody's freaking out, and I'm in my hammock, and I'm just like thinking about how the world is like completely falling apart, but it's like I have this hammock that I'm just like chilling in, and I do feel kind of guilty about that, because it's like I've always been on this other side, and like I used to feel so out of place, but now, like, just realizing that the way that I looked at the world was always correct, and that America has always been a shitty country, and the fact that people are just now starting to realize this, it's like, I mean, I've tried to tell people a lot of things that they're just now getting, but there's still so much that they don't get, and it's so annoying. Like, I was talking to Judson tonight, and he's like worried about a lot of stuff that, you know, sickness, and I was like, don't worry, I got you. You know, I've been paranoid a lot longer than you. But it's like, if he's really so paranoid, I don't understand, like, and I've said this before, but it's like, it has everything to do with the technology, and if you keep allowing the technology in your life, it's going to have a negative impact on you. And so it's like, if you're not willing to destroy that, then like I just really can't take you seriously, you know? And that's the thing, all these people that are like protesting and like going out and, oh, we won't comply. You've already complied. You've already complied. Like, you have all these social media handles, and like you're just so part of the system, man. Like, you want to say, oh, I'm not gonna do this because it's wrong, but it's like you're already like sucking the dick of the system, man. Like, you're just letting it jizz all over your face, and you're just like like, I love the system, it's so cool, you know. But in this particular regard, you're like such a rebel, right? I mean, it's just so funny to me. Like, these people are just such fucking cyborgs. They're so predictable, and they want to think that, like, oh, well, they're not doing this one thing, which means that they're like some sort of badass, you know. But just let them have it, Amy. Just let them have it. Let them have their day in the sunshine, okay? Before they realize that they're gonna die because of their phone. People just can't accept that. If you try to tell them that, they won't. They don't want to know. Like I said, Americans cannot be inconvenienced. But if you think about it like this, you have a demonic piece of machinery on your person at all times that is constantly trying to persuade you to do really terrible things, and is constantly subjecting you to all kinds of demonic things about this world, whether it's like actual pornography, or it's, you know, social media, or it's buy this, buy that, you need this useless item, spend money here, spend money there, you know. It's all about that. It's all about that cash grab. So it's like you're constantly submitting to that, whether you actually buy anything or not. It's like you're still part of that when you have that object on you. And people just don't get that shit. That it's the bigger picture of it. so many of these pieces of shit want to call themselves bigger picture people. You ain't a bigger picture person if you can't see how the technology is not only negatively impacting you, but negatively impacting our youth. I mean, I just... These people, man.